What's up everyone? Ronnie here. Now that you've learned the safety rolls in my previous tutorial, you can now move on to learning the more advanced roll, the dive roll. Now the dive roll is a great move for utilizing jumps over things and going into a roll, and also learning how to disperse more impact when coming straight down on your head, because that's what you're doing with the dive roll. You're doing a straight dive towards your head, but then rolling out of it. So let's get started. Now, because a move like this is going to put a lot of potential impact on your neck and your back, I would recommend that you do some proper warm-up and stretching before actually practicing and trying this move. The first one is just to make sure I stretch my neck, make sure that my arms are nice and warmed up, are limber and loose, because there will be a lot of impact going into your arms. And this is my favorite stretch to prepare myself for dive rolls because it stretches both my neck and my back and my legs. You're just gonna roll back onto your back and slowly bring your legs up past your head and just let the weight of your legs stretch your back and your neck, and slowly stretch it deeper and deeper, as comfortable as you feel. Alright, now that you're all limbered up, we can start practicing. The technique of the dive roll is actually going to be very similar to the forward roll, only there's going to be a lot more impact and a lot more momentum. So you're going to adjust the way you're absorbing that impact a little bit differently. So the technique for doing this move is that as you're jumping and diving into the air, you're going to be using your arms to absorb a lot of the impact, but to also control your body's motion to make sure that you get over your head and are rolling properly onto your back. And so as you're jumping in the air into the dive, I almost like to think of myself like a cat stretching out, making a leap. And so you're going to be stretched out, and then as you hit the ground, you're going to almost, you want to keep your muscles strong in your arms to absorb the impact, but your body's going to almost crumple into a ball to absorb the impact into a roll. Now when I say crumple, I don't mean your body's relaxing and going limp. I mean it's just moving with the flow of the momentum. And so you're going to allow your body to roll and collapse, but you still want to keep it strong and rigid in your core and in your neck and in your legs. So, because if you relax too much, then the impact can tweak a muscle or injure yourself. So make sure that you keep strong, but that you still try and control it so that your body is moving with the momentum. To practice going into this move, I'd actually just recommend you start with a handstand and just practice going into rolls from there, because there you're directly upside down and vertical, and then just getting the motion of going into a roll from that position. So when doing the handstand roll, you don't want to lean over too much, otherwise you'll just land flat on your back. You want to make sure you get balance and then just lower yourself with your arms and lean forward slightly to tuck over your head and go into the roll. And you don't need to have great handstand balance. You can just push up for a half second and find that right angle to go into the roll. After you're comfortable with that, you can now try and start jumping into it more. So the difference here between the dive roll and the safety roll is that instead of jumping and hitting your feet first and landing, you're ideally trying to jump up and get your hips up as you go into the roll. And something you can do to help do that is by kicking one leg, because just standing, it can be hard to jump straight up and get enough forward momentum, but if you kick a leg, it'll help lean you forward. Then when you're comfortable with that motion, try and add a little bit of momentum to it. Remember to take these progressions slowly. You don't want to rush it too fast, because then you can get hurt. And then try jumping off 2 feet. Once you're at this point, you're basically doing the dive roll, just a lower impact dive roll. So from here, you're just going to want to keep practicing that motion so you get comfortable with it, so it becomes instinctive and ingrained in your muscle memory. And then you can just work on jumping higher and jumping over things, and with more speed and momentum. A couple techniques for jumping higher or leaping over things is to, one, I like to throw my arms up to really get lift, but then I'm still gonna kick a leg to kind of help counterbalance it, to make sure I'm going forward enough and tucking into the roll. Two, if I'm diving over something really high, the hardest part isn't getting my chest over, it's getting my hips over. And so as I dive up, you really wanna almost like try and kick your feet up and pull your hips up as high as you can so that you clear the obstacle and you don't clip your knees or feet on it. Over time, you can combine momentum and jump height to increase your dive rolling ability until you're flying through the air into the dive roll. I would also recommend that you never do this move on concrete, even as trained as I've been in doing rolls and dive rolls for 10 years, I still avoid doing it on concrete if I don't have to. So I'd always try and focus on doing this move on soft ground. So let me know if you have any questions about this move in the comments. I will be doing a tutorial on the 360 dive roll next week, so be sure to subscribe to stay tuned for that. But otherwise, thanks for watching.